outside most days, you'll see a puffy, what looks like a cotton ball out there. If that cotton ball gets more agitated and it grows throughout the depth of the atmosphere, that's when it starts triggering our so-called standoff distances that could cause an issue for launch. So as long as they're shallow and flat, not an issue to fly right through them. But they get up to certain levels of altitude, it could be as much as a 10-mile standoff distance between the rocket on its flight path or the launch pad and the edge of that cloud. And so, again, they have to get quite vigorous. They don't even have to produce, though, lightning to get necessarily at that 10-mile standoff distance. For the launch date coming up, I don't foresee any of the cumulus getting that high into the atmosphere or that cold, which would trigger that much real estate being blocked off for us. But we could certainly have fly-through considerations, which means we can't launch the rocket directly into the cumulus cloud or possibly even as far as 5 miles from it, just given how the atmosphere profile looks like. The depth of moisture is pretty shallow, even though it feels really humid out there. So again, that helps us in that consideration. But I'll also point out that just looking at our overall climatology here on the Eastern Range, so almost 1 out of 4 launches over the course of the year would have one or more no-go lightning launch commit criteria. Doesn't mean the launch scrubs, but again, it's a pretty common occurrence. Scrub would be a lot lower percentage than that. So again, that kind of speaks to the transitory nature of these clouds. You get a 2-hour launch window, they could be in the flight path and then just as soon be right out of it.
Thank you. We'll now go back to the room, and we'll take it in the second row here to this lady right there.
Nicole Mortillero, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Going back to the X-flares, I know that there's a radiation shielding test that will be done on this mission. Can you talk about what that radiation shielding is and how it works? And if you needed to do it, let's say, day after tomorrow after launch, would they be able to do that quick enough?
Go ahead and defer that to Jeff or...
Yeah, the crew has the ability, and we anticipate that if there are, in fact, any need for shielding from radiation on orbit, they have contingency plans for that. They're going to practice some of that during the mission. As far as where they go into the vehicle and those types of things, there's some space in there that they can actually move into in the vehicle that will provide an additional shielding of the components of the ship itself, which provide the shielding inside of the areas in which they would be able to get to. They also would potentially move some of the equipment near to some of by the windows and some of the other things as they do that. But there's a protocol that they have for that, and I'm not probably the most versed person on it, but that's the part that I can tell you of some of the things that they have that are capability-wise that they can do on orbit when there are any of these types of events.
Thanks, Jeff, and we can get you some more info if you have additional follow-ups. We'll go to the gentleman right next to her.
Thank you very much. Tarek Malik for Space.com. I think for Jeff, you just mentioned the need for focus and whatnot, of course, because it's April Fool's Day coming up. But by all accounts, it sounds like this has been a very smooth and continual run-up to the launch. And I'm just curious how you are ensuring that the team continues that vigilance in what has been a very staid and quiet countdown.
I would say that I wouldn't necessarily characterize that because it's quiet that we're not still doing the same amount of rigor out in the field. We're just finding less things now than we had previously. I think at times you get to a point where you have found and corrected as many things as maybe are available to you, and so the things that we find now are quite small and much less significant than we had in the past. So I hope that's a really good sign, but we still have the same amount of vigilance. We have the same procedures, the same people doing the same type of events throughout 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we've been working up to this. And so we are still in the same posture, regardless of whether maybe it looks like it's quiet. People are still putting in the same amount of effort and working towards, because again, they know the significance of the mission and the people that we're flying on it, and that they're going to do the right thing and make sure that we're safe to do so.
Thank you. We'll go over to then the third row. We'll go to the gentleman there in the middle.
Thanks so much. Mike Mainberg, Wall Street Journal. Jeff, kind of related to what Tarek just asked. It's been more than 3 years since Artemis 1. Have you observed kind of in this process any jitters on different teams, any rustiness getting out there as the real thing unfolds. Yeah, thank you.
We've been training since Artemis 1 for this time, right? But we've also had to modify a lot of our procedures, hardware, equipment, training, and other things to get to where we are. As we've worked through that, it has been a building process for sure. We've seen that just in working through the WDRs, and the number of items that we've picked up each time has continuously gone down when we got through the countdown demonstration test and the WDR2. And so, again, I would say if anything, we're learning, we're getting better, we're in the ability for us to improve our procedures is at a point where I think we're at a really good state now, and almost at a steady state to where we're where we need to be certainly for this mission, and we'll continue to improve that. Artemis 3 is going to be a slightly different mission, but we're already working towards that. We got a lot of folks that are engaged in Artemis 3, and we're taking what we've learned from Artemis 2 and going to be applying it, and that'll be another challenge too as we work towards that.
Thank you. We'll go then to the gentleman in that same row at the far end.
I remember the Apollo 12 launch very well and what happened. Is there a concern that the booster might lose